The following is a Rural Roots Canada production. It's a pair made in horse heaven. This is Rural Roots Canada, and I'm Eric Smith, getting to the stem and meat of agriculture. World-renowned horseman Dan James from Queensland, Australia, and Alberta's Nikki Flundra teamed up together at the Calgary Stampede this summer to put on a show for Stampede goers. Dan James grew up knowing he wanted to work with horses, and he knew that the Calgary Stampede was a show that he had to be a part of at some point in his life.
Years ago, when I first started getting into this business, what I wanted to do is that I wrote a list, and on that list was Calgary Stampede. So it's kind of like, finally get to kind of tick that one off and go, yeah, got to go here and be part of the Stampede.
Nikki Flundra was much the same, growing up in the Pincher Creek area, dreaming of performing for crowds at the greatest outdoor show on earth.
It's a dream come true. I grew up about an hour from here, and this has always been a huge deal. This rodeo has always been, this show, I should say, not just rodeo, it's always been a part of my family's roots and my province and country's roots, and I'm just so proud and honored to be here.
James says working with horses has allowed him to see the world.
So yeah, we've had the opportunity to travel all across the world to date. We've been sort of obviously all across Australia, New Zealand, Tasmania, Japan, South America, all across the United States, and of course up here to Canada now. So it's been a great opportunity to get to experience and to see the world from this kind of format of traveling and performing with the horses.
Flundra says her love with horses started at a very young age.
And my grandpa always had horses on our family farm, and so I just finally managed to get a little mare of my own, and from there on out I was just a horse lover through and through.
Flundra's family runs about 400 head of cattle on a ranch in southwestern Alberta, and she says her day just doesn't feel right unless she has spent time and worked with her horses. As for James, his passion originally landed him on a ranch, or as they call it, at a station, where he learned a lot.
And I actually managed the horse section, and the station itself is about 1.8 million acres, and we run about 35,000 head of Brahman cattle, and there was about 200 head of horses, and that was my first and main responsibility, was to the horses, anything from the young horses, the breeding program, breaking in, teeth, feet, the whole 9 yards. So it was a really great period of my life. I was there for about sort of 6 years, and during that time I started working on some of this stuff.
He says if you want to get into this line of work, you have to put in a lot of blood, sweat and tears.
Mate, it's definitely one of those jobs where you're going to have to do a lot and a lot of work for very little or almost nothing at all in order to try to get an opportunity to start. It's a very tough industry. Only the people that sort of have an absolute complete drive to stay at it are going to sort of see it through, because you've got to love it more than anything, because if you don't love it and you're just doing it for a financial gain, it's not going to work out for you, because the days when you're sort of dragging yourself out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to go and get a job and that done, it's going to be a lot of endless days without pay. But if you stick to it, it is a great industry to be involved in.
Which is something that Flundra agrees with.
Just follow your passion, and it will just take a lot of hard work and dedication, and just gotta jump in with both feet and just learn as much as you can, and just try to think about what your goals are with your horses, and then just try to get them done.
Flundra and James both say that they hope people went away from their show as to what an amazing animal the horse is. For more on this interview, go to ruralrootscanada.com. For Rural Roots Canada, I'm Eric Smith, getting to the stem and meat of agriculture. This has been a Rural Roots Canada production, covering the farming community since 2010.